Odin, what am I going to find behind this door?
Tacoma. It's right behind us. There it is, in all its glory. Also here at ID at Xbox Showcase. Tell me a little bit about Tacoma.
So I'm Steve from Fullbright. Our last game was Gone Home, so Tacoma is our follow-up to Gone Home. Like Gone Home, it's a story exploration game. It's a first-person game about finding the narrative in the environment. But unlike Gone Home, it doesn't take place in the past. It takes place in the year 2088 on a space station. And the crew has been evacuated, and you've been sent to the space station to retrieve the AI and return it to its rightful owners. And so as you're moving through the station and exploring, you're finding these kind of digital echoes, these 3D recordings of what happened to the crew before you arrived. And you can move through that timeline and kind of explore these moments from every angle. And so the game is about reconstructing kind of what really happened here by investigating all of this stuff on the station.
So why 2088? Why not like 2172? Because that's a good vintage.
I mean, that's a very nice year. Adds up to 12. Numerology fans will know that I don't know. So something that is interesting to us is looking at this as speculative fiction, right? Because Gone Home was about recreating a time that was only 20 years in the past, right? And kind of having that familiarity. And we wanted to, if we're going to make a game in the future, make it far enough in the future that there's this sort of gap of a couple of generations where you can extrapolate from where we are to something that might happen, but the world is still kind of like semi-unfamiliar, but you can kind of see where it came from. Versus if we're in, like Star Trek: The Next Generation times, we're in like the year 2200 something, it's sort of like, well, who knows? There's way too much, it's just sort of like that can kind of be anything. So we wanted to be, something that's important to us as designers and writers is to have really useful constraints, right? That are sort of like, it's not just whatever you want. You're constrained by, if this is 75 years from now, does it seem like this could really, be something that could result from where we are now, and kind of using that as our reference point throughout the entire development process.
There's gonna be like iPhone 22 pluses like laying around. And you're like, whoa.
Well, that's a big part of what the in-game technology is about. So in the game, the whole station is run with augmented reality, right? So it's like digital information that's overlaid on the physical world. And a big part of why we're doing that is because we feel like that's kind of the next step from cell phones, from smartphones, right? It's like you don't take out a screen and have this portal into this digital world of information. It's just sort of like that can just be in your vision at any time. It's more integrated into our daily lives even than it is now. And so on the station, you might see like interfaces that the characters are using to like interact with the world, but also any of the characters can pull up their personal like AR desktop at any time and just see like, oh, I got a message from someone, here's this email that I got from the company. And when you're recovering these scenes, if a character was looking at their personal AR desktop, you can see what was on it. And so you're kind of conversant with that iPhone of the future idea, but within the fiction of Tacoma.
So what did you guys take from the things that you learned in Gone Home and improved upon in Tacoma?
Well, I think that, for us, the biggest thing is that Gone Home is kind of our foundation, right? Like, in a lot of ways, Tacoma kind of contains Gone Home mechanically, right? You're moving through a physical environment, you're finding notes and artifacts, objects you can examine. And so we wanted to kind of expand from there, like, continue exploring forward from there, as far as like what that experience can mean. And so for us, we're trying to maintain what worked from Gone Home and then have this feeling of being in the space with these characters while these scenes are happening through the AR technology, and basically, add layers of how you understand the story onto that, kind of Gone Home experience. And so I think that, the biggest thing for us is just knowing that Gone Home is all about trusting the player, basically. Like, we're like, here's a house, there's stuff in it. Go ahead, and you're, we help guide the player, but it's really about what they want to find, what they're interested in, the meaning they're going to take out of what they find. And so we're trying to carry that forward and say, Tacoma is really about how you engage with what's there, and our job is just to kind of like let you do it,
So is it safe to say that it's not a very linear experience? It's sort of just go kind of explore, or are there certain cues that like this opens this to leads to this?
Yeah, it's kind of like Gone Home. It's kind of like a chunky linearity. Like Gone Home was kind of like split into like acts, kind of. Like you kind of had this one big area, and then the next one, and then the next one. So it's not like you just randomly happen on the end of the story. And it's the same in Tacoma, where because you've been sent on a mission by the company, you kind of get access to different sectors of the station in an order. But within that, there's a lot of parallel storyline content that you can kind of follow this thread and then back to this one, visit areas in different orders, and it's really about building like a full picture of that space before moving on than like, okay, we're the designers, go here, now here, now here, now here, now here, you know?
So is there any sort of sense of danger within the game itself, or is it just sort of maybe you can explore as much as possible, or you can just explore a very minimum and still kind of get through the game?
Well, there's definitely nothing that is like going to kill you. And you know, in a game like this, I think it's important for the player to feel like they have that freedom to be like, if I want to find all the detail, I'm able to. But I think there is probably also going to be that sort of sense of unease, where no matter how normal seeming, you know, one of the scenes that you're watching is, you're on an abandoned space station, something went wrong with the AI, there's something that happened here that's like beneath the surface that they're not telling you. And so as you're finding those things out, I think there is that feeling of sort of like, all right, something's not right here, but I can be the detective, I can be the investigator and find out what it's really all about. But yeah, it's definitely not like, you're not gonna get sucked out into space or get killed by an alien or anything. You're good on that front.
Just don't want to piss off any AI, get mad at me, or just take over my body or something.
That information has been classified.
We're really like happy to be working with the folks at Microsoft. They're really supporting the game, you know, having us at events like this, but like giving us kind of the freedom to make it the thing that we're making it.
That's why I love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.